All right. So this is Coach Fusion coming at you on 2017 10/19. So it's the 19th of October, I do believe. And I'm just showing you a little view of my Quora profile because this is my answer to is it better to cut and bulk at the same time or cut first then bulk if my goal is to lose weight first? I'm only going to read my answer. I'm going to do my very best not to put any additional information in. And I'm just going to straight read it as if this was you listening, to my voice in your head while you're reading. And then if you want to continue the video afterwards, I will then go back up to the top and I'm going to break the whole thing down in a much more in-depth level. So here we go. Is it better to cut and bulk at the same time or cut first then bulk if my goal is to lose weight first? It needs to be a little bit better worded, but you get the gist. They're trying to see whether they can actually lose weight and build muscle at the same time. I'm beginning to love writing answers to this type of question that is typically answered by people that are still stuck back in time, counting calories, and thinking that food provides the energy we need to build muscle. Human biology runs on ATP, that's adenosine triphosphate molecules. Those ATP are produced by your mitochondrion. Now that's the singular form. Pictured a single mitochondria. That's a mitochondrion. So of those guys, how many of those guys are in your cells? Or girls if you're a girl. There's approximately 500 to 3,000 per cell. Wow. It's a lot, right? How many cells do you have? Approximately 75 trillion. The numbers vary according to who you cite. Here's an article on that. You can check that out if you want to follow that through. You can go on to my Quora account and check that out. All you have to do is type in on Google Quora plus Eric Morrison plus mitochondria. I guess you could put that in, or Eric Morrison Quora, and what would be a good one to put down? Cut and bulk. If you put that, just put something from the questions in there. So that means that you have 4 quadrillion or so mitochondria in your body at any one time, pumping out your body weight in this stuff, ATP. So there's a depiction of adenosine triphosphate, how it gets broken down a little bit. And I pictured an old school ATP diagram. It's not just your muscles that it moves, because basically whenever I ever heard about ATP when I was in health science at York University, which is a very large university, they only ever talked about it contracting muscle. It's like so myopic. It's such a one. So getting back, I'm only reading. ATP is life. A secondary thing it does is to cause muscular contraction so that you can break down and then repair and reinforce those muscle proteins that you broke down. So how do you fold and unfold proteins and make this happen? You need ATP to fold and unfold proteins, and you can read in that build muscle tissue. You also need ATP to perform all the other energy-intensive tasks like the chemical redox, also known as the chemical breakdown of all the different substances that are required to make your body an anabolic environment. The majority of us are in a catabolic state even if we are building muscle. If you increase calories and put on some muscle, where did the rest of the energy required to make that muscle come from? Well, you live inside, eat inside, go to school inside, go to the gym inside, and while you're there, you're on this. That's your phone, which is a class 2 carcinogen and a total ATP production crusher. Cigarettes are only class 1 carcinogen, by the way. Your phone's way worse than cigarettes. Our devices and the networks they run on totally deplete ATP production on the mitochondrial level by stretching their respiratory proteins apart. They also kill our energy by depleting dopamine, melatonin, and DHA, that's a fatty acid from non-vegetation fish marine life that has not changed in our cells for 600 million years. And that comes directly from our eyes as we hit that selfie at the gym. That's where it's getting depleted from, because the majority of your DHA, dopamine, and melatonin are not only stored in your eyeballs as the highest concentration, but dopamine and melatonin are made in your eyeballs under AM sunlight. So that extra energy that you need to build those muscles you want so bad, where does it come from if it's not coming from the sun? You vampire your own stored up energy substrates and semiconductors from your bones and soft tissue, like your cartilage in your knees, for example. If it does not come from your food supply, 1/3 only comes from there, and from nature connection, grounding, and direct sun exposure with specific timing. That's where you get 2/3 of your energy from. Oh, I go out in the sun all the time. Common refrain from people I talk to that spend time outdoors. Yes, it doesn't do you any good though, and you get burnt all the time, right? This is because you need timing to be involved with your sunlight exposure. It's all about light, water, magnetism, oxygen, and timing when it comes to your mitochondria. Circadian biology is all about timing and when we do things. Anyway, let's sum this up. 2/3 of your energy is from the sun and grounding, very basic description. It's way more complicated than that. 1/3 comes from food, which is a backup supply of electrons for when we are not grounded, i.e. wearing rubber-soled shoes or standing inside sitting at your computer. You want to lose weight? That's easy. Just don't eat carbohydrates and hit the fats. At least 50% fats in the diet, preferably from fish and non-man-made sources. For example, we want like avocado and stuff, and you definitely don't want to be eating margarine. Just remember, weight loss does not mean you are getting healthier. It just means you are using your fat stores to power the electron transport chain that's in your mitochondria, and that for all of your other needs, you are robbing your own stores unless you are getting sufficient sunlight, non-fluoridated water, grounding, aka passive collection of electrons, or electron snacking, as Dr. Cruz likes to say. You can absolutely build muscle by stripping fat, but you won't be doing it by counting calories. You'll be doing it by A, not looking at your phone when you wake up. You do the next thing in this list first, which is B, grounding in sunlight on your eyes in the morning at sunrise for a minimum of 5 minutes. 15 is better, 1 hour is even better, etc., etc. C, mitigating the non-native EMF, that's fake light, from your life. Turn out the lights, get off your computer as much as possible, train outside. Don't train inside under fake light conditions. And I put a picture of the glasses you already see me wearing all the time. They've dropped them by $10. And by the way, there's only 10 pairs left because they restocked and they're already almost out of stock again. That's how many people are buying these things. I have no monetary affiliation. Put a picture in for you of them so you know exactly what they are, and a link through to the .ca site. However, if we can get them up here, you can get ones that are down there. Same thing. So click through on that link. Increasing intake of DHA from marine sources, deep sea fatty, cold water fish, krill, herring roe, etc. It has to be in the N2 position, and it has to have been processed by an animal that is from the ocean. It can't come from stuff like kelp, although you can get good iodine from there, but that's for another article. E, drinking unfluoridated spring water. Unfluoridated is a huge one because fluoride stops your body from absorbing energy. It's just like a total damper on your ATP production. F, not drinking tap water unless your residence is on a well. And again, it's related to number E, but I'm putting all this stuff in so that it's kind of like the but I go out in the sun thing. Yeah, but you don't do it at the right time, and there's other things you're doing that are totally mitigating any time that you spend out in the sun. So G, maximal UVA, UVB exposure after you do your sunrise screenings, which primes your skin and body to be ready for the UVA and B rays that always come into the spectrum later on in the morning in greater intensity. H, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night in complete darkness. This is where your GH, growth hormone, gets released, and your body uses ATP and your wonderful lysosomes in your cells to clean your cells while you sleep and fix your muscle tissue that you broke down so that it can rebuild it using ATP and any amino acids that you might have taken in that help with the muscle tissue and nitrogen retention. Okay, this was a long post. I did a video call with a friend who I'm helping out, as well as another friend that called while I was writing in between. It's so much easier to describe this whole thing in person. I was able to get them to an understanding level where they were saying, yeah, instead of, yeah. I hope you delve a little deeper here, because I would need a week to really answer this question. And even then, you would still have questions. That's why I always end it off with, and I put the link for Living an Optimized Life with Dr. Cruz, www.jackkruse with a K, JACKKRUSE.com. And Always leave the instruction to click on the Getting Started guide because the homepage will just blow up your brain. Start learning some real science. If your info is coming from supplement or food guru sources, you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes, and your entire biology and metabolism starts in your eyes.